Hi, everyone, and welcome to Good Morning Sunshine. I'm your co-host, Brandon Lee, alongside my good friend and colleague, Carey Pena.
Thank you so very much for being with us today. And on all of our shows, we talk a lot about recovering from trauma, overcoming addiction. Today, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about how do you jumpstart a wellness journey?
And you know what I love, just having a free-flowing conversation about wellness, is that all of us have a different routine, even when we wake up every morning to when we go to bed at night. I have some friends who now do religiously a cold plunge every single morning because you'll get a huge rush of dopamine, I think up to 200% of after you do a cold plunge. So I love hearing what everyone does as part of your wellness routine. So go ahead right now, as you're watching this show, in the comment section, share with us what is the one thing you do every morning when you first wake up to start your day off right in a good wellness routine.
I want to see you do a cold plunge.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay,
I'm totally down.
I'm ready too. And we sat down with an amazing woman who's doing these transformation challenges for kind of like your everyday persons.
Yep.
You know, like she works with a lot of women, but also men. And she helps them like totally transform their day-to-day routine. Her name is Mary Koegadal, and we sat down with her to talk about how do you jumpstart a wellness journey. And we are so happy to have Mary Koegadal in studio with us now. Thank you so much for coming down.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So I've known you for years,
yes.
But I've been following your journey with Mary's health transformations.
Mm-hmm.
This is something sort of homegrown. Where did this come to light?
I started health coaching probably about 4 years ago, but my husband and I have been in the Valley with our health and wellness office for 20 years. So I really wanted hands-on tools to be able to coach people through weight loss and transformations.
What you're focused on here is health, and you're not focused on weight loss. Those two can go together.
Correct.
But the bigger issue is, you know, how do you make your mind stronger? How do you make your body healthier? How do you make yourself happier?
We call that, I think of it as the drama triangle, right? So on a day-to-day basis, we are in the drama triangle. We are making hundreds of decisions every day, right? Big, small. And you need to have the right people, the right things, and be in the right places in order to be able to make good decisions, because it's not always easy. And so my job as a health coach is to really help you facilitate how to make those choices, how to emotionally stay grounded. So a client might come to me with their why, and sometimes they're just small, nice whys. I just want to look good in a bathing suit. I just want to feel good on my vacation. But that why always changes and evolves and develops to something that's, I think, much deeper emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Accountability is huge in the process. And I know one of the women who you've coached, I worked with her professionally, Beth. She's wonderful. She's so lovely. And I think her before and after pictures, not just her weight loss, but just her overall confidence that you can see shining through is pretty remarkable. So we're showing some of those photos on the screen. Tell us a little bit about kind of the top 3 things that you, and I know Beth would be okay with us sharing this. She's very open, and she's just a great lady.
Yeah.
But what are the top 3 things? If someone's watching this, you work with a lot of women, but I suppose also some gentlemen.
Men, yes.
So what are the top 3 things?
Okay, first, like I said, to identify the why. So with Beth, it was interesting. You know, she's a very good friend of mine, and has a heart of gold in that she does for everybody else, right? And she has said she's always doing for others in her life, which is an amazing attribute, but then she never does it for herself, right? So we assess her why. Beth, where can we make breakthrough for you, right? Why do you feel that you're not good enough to take hold of your health and make these changes and transform? And for her, it was always like, I'm too busy. I have this event. I have to be there for my daughter, for my son. There was always excuses as to why she couldn't be healthy. And it's like, wait, that's exactly why you need to be healthy.
Understanding that component, and then what would you say are 2 and 3, just very quickly?
Yeah, just establishing a great daily routine.
Yep.
So for Beth, she says every Monday I reassess. So that's just re-engage and say, okay, I did good here, I didn't do good here.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And that you can keep getting better.
Yeah.
So don't give up on it. And
Yes.
then what would you say is number 3?
Number 3 is your also community. So we've established we do healthy happy hour hikes. So just shifting the matrix, you know.
I love
You don't
that.
have to go out for a drink.
Yeah.
You can go have a hike together.
Yeah.
And we do that like sometimes like Fridays
But
at
it's
4.
interesting when you're around people who appreciate healthier lifestyle, just whatever that looks like. You
Yeah.
know, I have a friend of mine who every time we were talking about getting together, she's hilarious because she's like, a walk and a latte? And I'm like, sure, walk and a latte sounds good.
Yeah.
But that was the first time actually that I'd had a girlfriend start pinging me with a walk and a latte.
Yeah.
You know, it just seemed very, I don't know, healthy
Health-
and
sure.
nice, like a midday, you know, not like a
Yeah.
happy hour. Like you want to
Exactly.
go to happy hour. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you and all the good work
Oh,
you're doing
thank
here
you.
in our community and across the country. And where can people find out more about you and the work that Robert are doing?
Sure. So our office is AccuHealth Wellness Center, and that's in North Scottsdale. And then also social media. So
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram, Mary's Health Transformations, and Facebook as well.
Okay, so there's one modality that I have truly, honestly never done, and that's acupuncture.
Yes.
I've seen a lot, I've read a lot, and I'm not somebody who's a skeptic about the science, about what it does. I'm a true believer because, you know, you can hear story after story after story of folks saying how acupuncture has really helped stabilize them, but also got them off to a great start on truly healthy living or just actually rebalancing the body again. I want to try it, I just don't know where to go.
Well, I can say that Mary's husband, Robert, owns a place called AccuHealth, and I went there throughout my pregnancy. I have twins, and he helped keep me so healthy and feeling great with acupuncture throughout my pregnancy.
It really is something that I heard can help with anxiety, even depression, and just it helps with so many different aspects of the body. It's just fascinating that taking a needle, like a fine needle, and pricking your body with it can actually help you rebalance your body. It's crazy.
We have Dr. Cain coming up, so we have to ask her what she
Yes.
thinks about that. But I believe in that practice, and it's something that definitely, when you're talking about your wellness journey, you're talking about this is not something that's going to hurt you.
No.
So why not try anything that might help you?
I'm
You
down
know?
for it. Yeah.
And recently we sat down with Dr. Art Mullen, and he was also on my podcast. And he's amazing because he talks about wellness at every age and kind of pushing the boundaries. So here's a clip from Dr. Art Mullen about his day-to-day routine and how he stays active and healthy.
Weight loss. It seems as if everyone is always asking me a question about how they can lose weight. Well, there's no magic pill. That's the first answer. And the next answer is basically it's always about exercise and diet. But if I had to put my emphasis on one point, it would probably be diet. So if you minimize the amount of pasta, rice, potatoes, and bread, those are the 4 that I often recommend that people reduce in their diet in order to lose weight. Exercise is important, but it depends upon how much weight you need to lose. A lot of people, if they need to lose those 5 or 10 pounds, oh, that's a different story. They may incorporate an exercise program, and that's going to probably help them as much as the dietary changes. But if you need to lose 20 or 30 pounds, well, diet really needs to be emphasized a lot more.
I want to know all the secrets to what makes him, Dr. Art Mullen, so energetic. I have known him here in the Valley, gosh, for more than a decade, and he is just as energetic today as he was 10 to 13 years ago.
Don't you think it's because he is so committed to his day-to-day regiment? I mean, he does not.
I want to ask him, dude, do you ever just like have a couch day? Do you ever just like chill on the couch, order some pizza, and
yeah,
chill?
I don't think it.
No.
Maybe.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't
maybe,
see it
but I
either.
don't see it. Yeah, but I think that's
I want
what-
him to say yes, because then it'll make me feel better on a weekend when I just want to order a pizza and
We're
chill.
just looking for comfort.
Yes, that's exactly. And food, comfort food.
We want to welcome to the studio now Dr. Briana Cain. Thank you so much for being here, a naturopath here in the Valley. And you have a booming practice, and we're excited to talk to you about the wellness journey.
Yeah, thank you again for being here, and I'm a huge fan of naturopathic medicine. So before we get into some of this, I just want to define exactly, because you're going to be talking about biochemical factors and how they can influence mental health decline. So first off, just kind of describe to me first what a biochemical factor is.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about the central nervous system, the brain, and your peripheral nerves, a biochemical factor is a signal. It's a neurotransmitter. It's a chemical that gives signals to your brain to tell it how to behave.
Right. What I was talking to the doctor about, before we went on the show to tape today, and I said, okay, that makes sense to me.
So in talking about that, how do you train your brain a bit to get into a better state of mental health?
Well, there's a lot of different things that can influence that, right? Everything from lifestyle factors to diet to genetics, chemical exposure. There's a lot of different things that influence those types of things, and your neurotransmitters. So we need a balance between neurotransmitters. There's about 30 different neurotransmitters. They do different things. Some of them are excitatory and some of them are inhibitory. So we want a balance between those. And there's a lot of different, like I said, lifestyle things, diet things that you can do to maintain that balance and to prevent mental health decline.
So when we're talking about supporting our overall wellness journey, but in particular to the conversation we're having today that supports our mental health, what supplements can we look at? I mean, how can we really, if I'm watching this or listening to this, where do I start?
Yeah. Right. So there are a lot of different vitamins and cofactors that your brain uses not only to generate those neurotransmitters, but also to break them down. So we want to make sure that we're producing them effectively, but also that we're eliminating them when we're done with them. So those nutrients are things like magnesium, B6, and CoQ10. Those seem to be the top 3 that people are deficient in when they struggle with mental illness or decline. And then making sure that you get enough antioxidants. So things like vitamin C, and again, going back to diet, making sure you have lots of different variety in your diet, lots of different colors of fruits and vegetables, anything that's very colored like green and leafy or bright orange or red, those are full of antioxidants. That's really good for your brain.
Is there something that we can do, because everybody's different, we all react to different foods differently, right? Is there a way that we do a simple blood test? Is it like, do we just like do a little prick blood test, like in order to understand our body composition? Because I'm assuming, right, what may be right for Carey and helping her may not be the right plan for me.
Absolutely. So there are ways to test food intolerances, primarily through blood. It's a blood draw, and we can test different types of food sensitivities. But also when it comes to your neurotransmitters, there's an excellent urine test that can tell you if you have imbalances in any of those variety of chemicals that are active in your nervous system.
It's the first time I've ever heard of that. Do you do that at your office?
We do.
You do?
Well, what do you
I'm
ask
gonna make an appointment.
for people who are, not here in the Valley? I mean, for folks who want to come see you, that's great. But if they're elsewhere, what do you ask for?
Yep, it's a neurotransmitter test, and you do it at home. It's just a little kit that you do at home, and then you send it in, mail it in to the lab, and then they send me the results.
And then what does it tell you specifically?
It will tell us exactly whether or not you have any deficiencies or excesses, and any of those. I think there's about 30 different neurotransmitters that they test for. And they also take into account if you're taking any medications, how that might impact your result. The medical director of that lab goes through every test and makes recommendations based on, what your imbalances are. And then when I look at the test results, I can interpret them and then help the patient to learn what kinds of foods they should be eating or what supplements they should be taking.
Dr. Cain, before we wrap the segment, I'd love to have you just speak on the fact of just what do you think, the significance if we really try to dig a little deeper and understand our own body composition and how that relates to our mind? Brandon was talking about my horrible lack of water intake, but but really like kind of getting real with ourselves but understanding what are we deficient in, like what can help us so we can truly thrive.
Well, your body is really amazing, right? Given the right environment, it will heal itself. So we have to facilitate that by making sure we get enough sleep. 6 to 8 hours is super important, and a lot of people just don't get enough sleep. Making sure that we manage stress, we talked about that cortisol piece. Not only is it eating poorly and causing inflammation in the gut, but that constant go, go, go is really hard on our adrenals and our nervous system. So making sure you manage stress appropriately, that you're getting exercise, because we want to improve blood flow. We want to make sure that our elimination pathways are open, so drinking enough water. So really the basics, just being conscientious of living a healthy lifestyle. I think most people are aware that, you know, eating fast food and a lot of sugar and not exercising are not good for you, but it's not that they're just not good for you. They really do have a strong impact on your overall health and well-being.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating stuff. Thank you for a lot of that insight. I'm so curious about doing that like urine test to figure out what your body is so deficient in.
Absolutely, it's fascinating. And for every person, it's different.
And how long, just lastly here, how long does it take once we do that test and we begin taking these supplements and we change our dietary components, how long does it take for our bodies to respond to that, to see a difference in our mental health?
Honestly, because we're doing it naturally and not so superficially and synthetic like you would with pharmaceutical, 3 to 6 months on average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it because you keep it real. You don't try to say like, okay, within, you know, 15 days, we're going to, I mean,
But it's just like when you're changing your lifestyle, you know, and you're trying to lose weight, it's like the quick fixes never fix anything, right? You may look good for, you know, a couple weeks and then a couple weeks later, it's coming right back. I think that 3 to 6 month mark is a really good thing with anything to form a new routine and a lifestyle. And that's when you begin to see those impacts.
Absolutely.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Cain. Thank you so much.
And don't forget, if you're watching right now and you found that conversation interesting and maybe you're doing something at home, are you cooking, are you eating something that you truly feel is helping to improve your life and your mental health, please do share in the comments below. We can all learn from each other collectively. And now to our sunshine story. Our executive producer, Christina Deloma, is here today. She's always on the web, right? Today even still call it the web. She's always on the internet and she's finding really cool things.
Yes.
And today is about yoga. And first question, you're a yogi?
Oh, I'm a yogi for sure.
How many days do you practice?
Well, I used to practice every day, and now it's like 3 days a week probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is this sunshine story about?
So this is about when you're on your wellness journey, the hardest part is to really get started. And there's so many reasons why you don't, because you're insecure, you haven't worked out in a long time, you just don't know what to do. So this YouTube personality, Adrienne Mishler, or Adrienne Louise as she is known, has this thing called Yoga with Adrienne, and it is free yoga on YouTube. You can do it at your own home. And not only is it just different types of yoga from beginning to advance, she offers these like 30 days of yoga. So it's really like a cool introduction of getting yourself into this wellness habit. And the fact that it's free and you don't really have to go anywhere, you can do it on your own time, is spectacular. And she really has this motto of, and this is what drew me to her besides her fun personality and her puns when she teaches, is that her overall mentality is find what feels good. So I don't know if you've taken a yoga class or been in any sort of workout class, like some names where you're supposed to be on the leaderboard. That doesn't always work for everyone in their luggage.
Right.
They don't need to be competitive, they just need to do it. So she just find what feels good. You don't have to actually push yourself, it's just what makes you feel better about yourself.
You asked if we've ever done yoga. I've taken one class and I've never gone back. For this exact purpose. First off, I tried to get a glass of water, and the teacher yelled at me and says, "Do not break pose." And I was like, "I'm thirsty." And so she goes, "It's distracting." So obviously I went to the wrong class, but I've never gone back. So here's why. It's a true story.
I believe it.
So,
That's why I'm laughing, because I know it's true.
I'm like, this definitely ain't for me.
I cannot wait for those big eyes. Caught in the moment.
But here's the thing. I think that what's really cool about this is that it is hard to start something new. And I think the biggest thing is intimidation factor,
yes.
Especially if you're not somebody who's normally gone to the gym for a long time. What is really cool about this is that you can give it a go for 30 days. You can learn the basics so that you feel and build that confidence to then maybe go do a group yoga class.
Yeah, and I take the find what feels good mentality to heart, because it's not just, beginner basics yoga yin. It's, if she has something where like hip stretches for runners. So if you run, you would want to take that video, or a 5-minute morning workout for yoga. So in the morning, if I'm not really feeling it, I can add 5 minutes. So it's kind of cool. You can pick and choose, not just every day it's laid out for you, but how you really feel that day.
And where again can people find her?
So this is Yoga with Adrienne. She's on YouTube. She has this wonderful gentleman she has a dog, that's where they're Benji, who's there, you'll get to know. But one of the stories I loved was this guy, he wanted to lose weight, and he went to a gym with a trainer and was so turned off by the whole experience he was going to quit.
quit, but he knew he needed to do it for his sanity and for his body. So he just found her, did one video, and then slowly but surely lost over like 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And he just got this confidence, and that's what the whole point is to be well.
That's about
awesome.
spreading sunshine.
Yeah, that's it.
Christina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to all
before
of
we
you
go,
for watching.
before you go, I want to know what kind of yoga poses y'all are doing at home and what's your horror stories at the yoga studio, so I can commiserate with you.
Well, I could tell you that one time when I was on spins, the instructor yelled at me, "Brittany, keep going!" And I'm like, they're not talking to me, right? I don't know. So that like traumatized me about spin class, but that's a whole different story. So thank you all for watching.
All right, and since you're already here on YouTube, do us this favor. Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You're going to see a little bell notification symbol. Go ahead and hit that. It'll alert you every time we upload a new episode. We'll see you back here for the next episode of Good Morning Sunshine.
Take care, everyone.